convert from a basic site without too much trouble?
Absolutely. In fact, you don't even necessarily need to convert. You can add a blog to an existing site as an additional component alongside it. Now, if you want to migrate an entire existing site into a blog-based tool to make it easier to manage, that's something our professional services team can help you do. Or we can even point you to lots of third-party experts out there, maybe even one in your own town, that can help you do that as well. At the bottom line, what most of the process of moving from a traditional site to a blog is just copying and pasting your content.
Yeah, and the person that asked the question adds some detail of going from typepad Basic to typepad Pro. It really is just a matter of changing your billing settings.
Yep.
With the discount code that we're going to give away today, you can experience typepad at all 3 levels of service and sort of see what's best for you.
Yeah, upgrading from Basic to Pro is one click. It's really, really simple, and we've tried to make that as easy as possible to get your information, moving around within the typepad system.
Right. Did you want to give that discount code now, Anil?
Sure. Actually, we can. I'll leave this up while we're taking the rest of our questions. There's a code AD610 that you can put in when you sign up at typepad.com. And if you use it by the end of the year, it'll give you 10% off of your typepad account for life.
Off the Pro level account.
That's right.
So you can jump in today and start experiencing typepad at the Pro level with this discount code. For folks that are not seeing the screen sharing, that code again is A as in Apple, D as in Daniel, 610. And you can go to typepad.com and just click on the button to start the free trial.
Terrific. Thanks, Andy.
Great. Diane's asking, if you have an existing typepad blog, how do you take advantage of the new SEO benefits that you're offering? Most of the stuff that's in typepad now with the SEO features we've added are able to be applied immediately to your blog. And then there was also a follow-up question about adding a blog to an existing site. Can the domain name remain different for the site and the blog?
Yeah. So first, in terms of the SEO features, we've tried to make most of them automatic. And what that means is that it's just doing the right thing in terms of what Google and those other sites prefer. There are some settings you can control in terms of privacy and sharing and publicity in the typepad control panel. And what it'll do is let you do things like what they call a Google sitemap, which is you just check a box and it'll automatically give Google a list of every page on your site and how often you update it, so that it's got hints about how to come and search your site.
And another good feature connected to that social web stuff is that you can broadcast a post directly to Facebook and Twitter right as you click publish.
That's right. And it's one of the most kind of powerful things you can do is when you know you've written something that people are going to respond to, by just checking a box and telling all of your friends on Facebook and Twitter that you wrote it, you really amplify that message. It just gets it out there, really, really quickly. If you write something people respond to, they are often running with it and then sharing it with their friends. Now, in terms of can you have a blog and your own website at 2 different addresses? Yeah, I mean, I think you look at something like the CFO example that we showed. They have a traditional website and then they have the SmartBiz blog site, and they link to each other, but they're each at their own domain name. That's a fine option for a lot of businesses. I think that's a smart choice. A lot of other companies will say if we have mycompany.com. That's where your website lives, and the blog lives at blog.mycompany.com. So there are a lot of different options there. The most important thing is that you're just thinking about it. What's the right place for it to be? What's the right web address for it to be? And then whatever choice you want to make there, typepad will support you using that web address.
Another question was, is it possible to change the name of an existing typepad blog to a more desirable name?
Yeah, absolutely. You can rename your blog right in the general control panel for that blog in the settings.
As many times as you want.
Although you want to keep it relatively consistent, just so people know what they're coming to.
My favorite blog title ever is still, there was a guy that does litigation for foodborne illness, and he had a blog called E. coli blog. And that still remains my favorite blog title ever.
It's clear. It's very evocative. You know what it's about.
Be obvious at all times, yes.
Yeah.
Any other questions folks have, go ahead and pop them into the chat area where the Q&A window's at, and we'll get those answered for you. Let's see. Here's some other questions. There's questions about the typepad default templates versus having them customized.
Oh, sure. So just for a little bit of background if people aren't as familiar with typepad, there have been two ways to do a design for your typepad blog since the service launch. There's a library of hundreds or maybe even thousands now of different styles that you can just click on, and your site will take that design. And then for people who are real technical experts or have somebody that does their tech work for them, you've been able to get in there and just customize every single bit of the HTML and the images on the page in what we call advanced templates. Those are still both really good options. What we have tried to do is put as much power as possible in the point-and-click interface so that you don't really need to use advanced templates except in extraordinary circumstances. And that's something that's gotten a lot easier. For example, we have new features around widgets for your page, sidebar elements, a footer, all those things where you can edit the HTML without having to use advanced templates. If in the past you had to use advanced templates for any of those common features like putting ads on your page or something like that, that's probably not necessary anymore. So the first thing I would say is take a look at the new design tools and see if maybe you can choose one of the default templates and it'll do everything you need using the tools that we have there. If you still want more control than that, you absolutely can use advanced templates to tweak every little bit of your site. That's especially if you want to learn more about how to do web pages and how to do that kind of customization. You can do that, and our support team can help you with that as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to reemphasize that last part, that we have a whole support and services team that loves to help people customize their blogs. We have a couple different packages, as well as they can do custom design to basically do whatever you'd like to do with your blog. The other question was, if I'm an existing typepad user, can I use the discount code? Usually we say if your account's pretty new, like in the past 2 or 3 weeks, we can apply the code, but once you're kind of a veteran typepad user, it's not as easy for us to apply those discount codes. But thank you for asking. Another question, if I have an existing account, can I change my URL? I think that means you're wanting to change the address of your actual blog. That you
yeah, and if you want to map a domain or something like that, you can absolutely do that.
Right, yeah. So I'm guessing, hopefully this is about domain mapping, which you can change pretty easily.
Yep.
Let me check the Q&A again. Let's see.
If it's to if you have a subdomain under typepad, that can be a little bit more work, but it may be possible. I think that's actually that's one point to emphasize overall with a lot of these questions for the current typepad users. The typepad help system is just a great resource. We have a really good knowledge base that covers a lot of common questions, explains a lot of stuff. We've really improved the search there to try and make that a lot better and easier to get around. You'd be shocked how many really good answers are in there. And if, I always find the questions answered in the knowledge base on typepad, and then my first time through I'm like, oh, I don't need this, I'm going to try and figure it out. And then the second time through I actually read the knowledge base article, and it actually answers my question exactly. If you have the patience to read it. If there's something that isn't answered there, you can always file a help ticket. That's one of the great benefits of typepad that I think really sets it apart, is you've got that ability to just go out and get like a plain English answer from someone that's trying to help.
Yeah, reading directions. Who knew?
Well, yeah, I'm still not great at that. I do ask for directions when I'm driving. I feel like that's my.
I did want to point out our typepad 1 resource, which is how we talk about all the services and support and help that we offer all bloggers everywhere, and that's at typepad.com/1. typepad.com/ONE. And that's where you can always be apprised of our latest events, video demos, tips, and links to our user support forums. It's really one of the first places you can go to see all the stuff that we have to help your blog succeed as much as possible.
Yeah, Andy, I have to point out that you've been doing a series of videos there to teach people about all different aspects of blogging and how to kind of get the most out of their site, and it is fantastic. I mean, somebody like me that's been blogging 10 years to go and watch a video and learn stuff, I might be too cynical, but I also think, I know everything, there's nothing new under the sun, and there's just always some little bit where you're like, gosh, I never knew about that, or I forgot to do that, and that's a good reminder, or I knew I needed to do that, but I didn't know how to get started. It's really a great resource.
Yeah, there's always more to learn. Another question,